they want to execute a warrant, right? But they ran up on the wrong ones because they was prepared and ready. And they was on the standoff for I don't know how long. Motherfucking, they told us that this motherfucker, Timothy McVeigh, put that motherfucking truck in front of the goddamn federal building in Oklahoma City, and all the time, his motherfucker wasn't even there. And then when they executed him, he's still walking around as a fucking government agent. Make this shit make sense. They went and arrested this dude from not 20 miles north of me, Timothy Nichols, with saying he was the co-defendant, gave him 5 years for helping them mix the motherfucking chemicals. And the crazy part is, the only thing that they said is he had a receipt for fertilizer and he owned a farm. That's what they used to connect him to the crime. But we don't pay that kind of shit no attention because it's not part of our personal life. If you read the Unabomber Manifesto, Ted Kaczynski was fucking right, and he fought the war how he seen it. He couldn't figure out no other way to fight, because who you gonna trust when you getting infiltrated at every turn? So you can't tell nobody. His own fucking brother turned him in, right? So he should have killed that motherfucker first. Then turn around. Another motherfucker, Charles Manson. Look, San Quentin had a MK Ultra branch where they was looking for people to prop up as Messiah types, because the government said if it's going to be a Messiah, we might as well give it to him. But the problem is, the kind of guy material for a Messiah type, the kind of mentality he gotta have in order to be effective with people, he's unfucking controllable. If he have the qualities, all your hypnosis ain't gonna work. All of your drugs, split consciousness is not gonna work. If he's gonna be effective, your motherfucking mind control can't work on him. Right? So this is the story. This program, now the director of the program was best friends with a guy named Jim Jones, who took a whole bunch of people to Guyana and drunk the Kool-Aid, literally. This guy is the teacher of a guy named Carl DeFries, who he changed his name to Senku and established the Symbionese Liberation Army, right? And then his classmate, not directly in the same class necessarily, but they had the same teacher, was Charles Manson of the Helter Skelter movement. Now, Charles Manson was artistic. He was a musician and a songwriter and a painter. A lot of us don't know that. Well, he was charismatic, but he was one of them kind of incorrigible white dudes that if he walk into the store and you ain't looking, he feel like that box of Snickers belong in his pocket kind of guy. But if you catch him, he don't understand what he did wrong because he's exercising his white privilege. Find himself 1965, 63, sitting in San Quentin when they approached him. The dude that's Jim Jones' best friend say, look, we working on a government program, and we need to find a guy that can get the white youth, middle class white youth, and we need you to form them into a militia, right? He sat there, he listened, he took in all the information, learned all the techniques, got all of the free LSD they gave him, all of the free marijuana they gave him. Because how you think he was able to keep them white kids that love to get high occupied long enough to even be able to be involved in this shit? So he was being fed LSD by that same guy when he got out. Now, he got caught with I forgot what he got caught with, but he was on parole. And they was finna send his ass back to prison, And that same guy walked in there. He don't got no name. Don't know. Even on the picture, they got pictures of him with Jim Jones. But even on the pictures, he got no name. So, he go in there, talk to Charles Manson parole agent, and they walked him out the back door. Told him, don't worry about it. You won't be bothered again. So Charles Manson, they hook him up with some rich dude to be a farmhand. And this is where they was all meeting, the family, as they call them, would be at. But it really wasn't the family. They really wasn't as tight-knit as they became after the chaos blowed up. It really was like a rave that didn't end. Right? In modern times, it's the easiest way for you to understand it. It was like a rave, and then when everybody leave the rave, you got these people left that's just hanging out, you know, and waiting on Charlie so we can get our next shot of LSD, bro. Right? So you got them people that's left over on the farm with Charles Manson, and them are the girls that they labeled as the family. And you got this dude with him. This dude, Tex. Tex is the one who was the FBI agent that was supposed to be monitoring the progress of Charles Manson. And Tex the one who told them girls that Charlie said he want this shit done. But nobody at no time ever heard Charlie tell Tex that. But that's what they used to give Charles Manson all them life sentences. Charles Manson was never supposed to have been in prison in the first place because he never told nobody to kill nobody. That's the same bullshit they ran on Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover got locked up because they said, well, since this dude killed him and he thought he was doing it for Larry, we might as well just lock him up too. That's how it went. The law that Larry Hoover locked up on has since been overturned in the 2000s. The same law, the actual charge, that means the charge was something like influencing, influence that triggers a criminal action. That means they could have took any rapper that made a song that somebody was listening to and committed a crime and said it was because he was listening to him. They tried that shit with Tupac in Texas. You gotta remember that. They tried to charge Tupac with a murder in Texas because they said some kid was listening to Tupac and shot somebody or shot the police or some shit. But you gotta look, they don't stop doing the same shit. They keep doing it over and over and over again. Right? We gotta get this to the youth. These young boys need to understand that everybody they run with ain't they motherfucking friends. Some of them motherfuckers is in there to bring their whole crew a ruin. Right? And that's why they hate it when they catch a crew of motherfuckers and don't nobody talk and everybody walk. Because that's normally what happens. They catch a crew of niggas and they stand silent and be like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. And they all end up beating the case because they gotta have a participant as a witness on most of these cases because they don't have any real evidence other than the fact that they the ones that provided them the means and the opportunities to commit these crimes. The government bringing the guns in the hood. The government bringing the drugs in the hood. So what you gonna do? You can't stop the government from bringing them in. So what you can only manage your hood. Right? So you got two options. Be addicted to the drugs or get rich off the drugs. Which one you gonna choose? And now you wonder why everybody was a drug dealer in the 80s. We at the end game. They gonna pull out every provocateur, every false organized event to try to tell us that we need to participate in that bullshit. It don't got nothing to do with us. Get them motherfucking frauds off the land. And half of the motherfuckers get them off the land. When you get done getting your people off the land, you get the fuck out too. The ones of y'all that just so happen to be from here, I can't tell you nothing. Go talk to your big mama. That's all I can tell you. All the motherfuckers on the police force that look like us, that do all that dirt, You're not getting no mercy. Don't look for no motherfucker. We gonna give you the same mercy niggas been getting for years. None. We never had no mercy because y'all never gave us none. So since y'all never gave us no mercy, we don't have no mercy for you motherfuckers. Burn in the darkest depths of hell that you motherfuckers can find, because you not staying here. I don't give a fuck where you go. So let y'all youngsters know, these niggas out here, if they not telling you how to take care of your family, and they not telling you how to stand up and be a solid individual, and then they being an example of that shit, don't follow them niggas out in the street talking about no protest shit, because you gonna get your ass killed. Because it's just a matter of time. Now, the National Guard, I told y'all how they was told to treat us. I just put a video up yesterday on my Facebook page where the National Guard was bringing the people donuts and shit, and then they was like, well, what is this all about? And he was telling them, you know, we fucking National Guard, we here to help, we ain't here for that bullshit. ICE got to handle the motherfuckers on the bullshit. We here to aid and assist the community in the time of the crisis that's looming over our head. And the only reason it's going to be a crisis is because you have to shut the old down in order to start the new. Right? You can start parts of the old shutting down and parts of the new opening up, but when the final transfer from the corporate to the republic takes place, everything got shut down for a minute. And it don't have to be shut down no months or no weeks. It can be shut down for a couple of hours, couple of minutes. But they have to shut off the old system before they can turn on the new system. And they're running out of time, because Big Mama gave them a deadline. But most people didn't catch it. I ain't gonna tell y'all the deadline. I'm gonna let y'all have to find that motherfucker. But it's in the public domain. It's not a secret. But Big Mama gave him a deadline, a date. I need this done by this date. So it ain't my call. All I can tell y'all is what's been going on, how they fucked over us, and how to get out of it. If you want to get out of it, or if you don't want to get out, that's your personal opinion, your personal choice, and I can't come against you on that. You can live your life how you want to live it. You can live it free on your motherfucking knees like a slave, or you can live it like a motherfucking, a real person on your motherfucking feet, on the upright, 10 toes down, motherfucker. Arms across the chest. Our people in a real vicarious position right now. We poised right now to be the richest community that the world has ever seen, because we ended a war that affected galaxies. So you're going to have people coming to show honor to us for figuring out how to conquer the unconquerable. Or as they say, not unconquerable, the almost unconquerable. It was almost unconquerable. But depending on who you get to fight what wars. If you know how to follow matriarchal order, you know that who's ever the best person at this task, that's your job. And the only way you can get off that job is somebody got to come along with better abilities than you, or you have to train a successor and raise him up till he's equal to you in skill set. And he might surpass you later on, but it's going to always elevate you, because the student can never outshine the master. Because the bigger the student get, the more it's valuable to understand what the master taught. Because you only can take what's in the student and explain to the student how to let that shit shine. If you don't know how to turn that motherfucking light on, you ain't the teacher, you ain't the master, and your students ain't going no motherfucking where. But if you know how to turn that inner light on, look, it's a scene, it's a movie called Penitentiary, with a guy named Leon Isaac Kennedy, and he's in there as a penitentiary fighter. And they take him down in the basement of the penitentiary, and it's like a dungeon in the hole down there. And it's this dude behind this steel door. And everybody's scared of the dude behind the steel door. But late at night, he talking to Leon, and he's telling him that you have to tap into your inner man, the inner mind. Coming to find out, the dude behind the steel door was a Jamaican midget. Can anybody say Bushwick Bill? I can't say the rest of his name. But the dude behind the door was a Jamaican midget. So he was telling Leon Isaac Kennedy that if he want to win these fights, he can't win them with the ego. He have to tap into his inner man. And there's a book. The book is called Uberman, Almost Superhuman. If you got a son, get him the book. It's another book that your sons will need. It's called Leadership Secrets of Attila the Hun. Every boy child should have a copy. Then every teenage boy should have a copy of Sun Tzu's Art of War, Mao Zedong, Guerrilla Warfare, Che Guevara, Guerrilla Warfare, Mao Zedong, the Red Book, and every one of them should have a copy of Machiavelli the Prince, and they should have a copy of The Art of War by Niccolo Machiavelli, The Art of War, Napoleon's Art of War, and The Art of War according to Alexander the Great. And get out of there trying to teach them motherfuckers English. They give them a fucking dictionary. My fucking dictionary in that Foot Locker right there is this goddamn thick. Look, if you want to get good books at a good price, it's a book distributor called Edward R. Hamilton Bargain Books. I done got some $100 books out of there for $2.95. But we have to understand strategy of warfare. Right now, we are ending a belligerent occupation that's lasted since 1776, that was commenced or sealed or signed into action on July the 4th, 1776. It was a 200-year contract that was extended because of the War of 1812. The devil got an extension. The enemy got an extension on the treaty because we took they bitch asses to war because they kept violating the goddamn treaty, murdering us like they never stopped doing. We wasn't supposed to murder them, but they had free run to murder us. And that's why Martin was non-violent, not because he didn't think that he could whoop their ass. That wasn't the issue. The issue was we got to navigate around these Masonic goddamn conjure agreements that if you violate this motherfucker in the least goddamn way, you got to restart this motherfucker all over with. Don't nobody want to restart it. That's why it's so imperative to properly study the writings of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Because he tell you in there, it was 200 years. If it take 200 years, we still gonna come out on top. We don't give a fuck where you motherfuckers come from. We don't give a fuck how many of y'all it is. Whether you came from another planet, or through a stargate, from another dimension, from another time zone, from another motherfucking galaxy, it don't matter. When you come down here and you fucking with the Earthborn, they gonna always call the firstborn or the earthborn as the last resort. And when you see me, motherfucker, we gonna fix the problem, and I don't give a fuck whether you like it or you don't like it. The problem is gonna get fixed. Cause I'm gonna go back to when we first started this shit, and I'm gonna say, let's use the original motherfucking rules that predate all that shit. Cause all that shit that came after is not superior to the first shit. And the first shit said that we did everything by oral tradition. The first shit said that the first right of the earth right goes to the women because Earth is a feminine planet. That contract is the oldest contract on the planet. It was the contract that defined the gender of the earth, and it tied them mitochondrially to the women. Anybody don't know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell and is also responsible for finding and solving genetic conundrums. And this is why they had to promote whole culture. Because you needed enough motherfucking Y chromosomes to determine how to fix the motherfucker. Because it's fading away fast. That means that you niggas on borrowed time. And if they can't find no men, some stand-up motherfuckers that don't like to take it up the ass, that want to be a real goddamn men, the women will stop producing you motherfuckers. Don't believe me. Keep being your bitch ass. Keep being a sissy. It's going to come back to you. These women will stop producing men if it becomes fruitless. If it's a waste of time to make men, they will turn that shit off. The women are the gods of the earth. Fuck what you talking about. As long as mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell and it regulates the flow of spiritual energy into the DNA helix, that's source code, baby. We need stand-up men now. Stop teaching these boys to be sassy-ass girls. We don't need no sassy men. We don't need no sassy boys. It's going to be some boring. Right? Because sometimes the imprinted feminine spirit is so strong that it can't adjust to being in the male body. But that's a whole nother topic for another discussion, because you only had 2, 3, 4 of them every 50, 60 years. Right? Now they farming these motherfuckers. They just altering the DNA in utero. Women thinking they going to their OBGYN, they gynecologist to get proper prenatal care, and all the time they genetically manipulating your body with your baby's genetics from this shit, and it's to prevent this defect and that defect, and they fucking your baby up on your watch because you don't know what the fuck going on, because women used to know. Women used to know everything about their bodies because that was the first thing mothers taught daughters. Understand your body. Understand you got an innie, and it's a responsibility to come with that. That innie is a micro universe. It will bring forth life from nowhere. It's going to duplicate the creation of the overall creation that we live in right there in your body. And they caught the women teaching that shit. They started killing them. And they called it the witch hunts. This is what they was teaching yoni science how to override all this bullshit we've been dealing with. This is why they was killing them women. They wasn't killing them motherfucking women because they was scared a witch gonna cast a spell on them. Them niggas was up there casting spells too. They was killing them women because they couldn't beat them at spell cast. You had to kill them in the physical to try to stop the work they was doing on the spiritual. And then they had to stop doing that because they found out sending them to the spiritual was the wrong fucking place to send them. Then they started putting them in cages and boxes. And making sure they don't have no motherfucking shit to work with. Started taking their recipe books. Because your family recipe, you got healing motherfucking recipes. Your grandmama used to cook this every year about the same time, because this is going to stop you from catching pneumonia and the flu, motherfuckers. But y'all don't eat that shit no more because you don't like it, because you can't go to McDonald's and get it. That's why your ass sick now. We got to come up with an understanding of what we face with. Because once you can see it, it can only win if you surrender on your own. But as long as you can't see it, it's going to whoop your ass to damn near death. And some of y'all, it's going to take all the way out because you can't see it. You don't know what you up against. And the sad part about it is when you see it, the hard part is getting somebody else to put the goddamn glasses on, because don't nobody want these motherfuckers, because once you put them on, you can't unsee this shit. And when you can't unsee this shit, you only get 2 options: accept it or change it. And it's only one way to change it: by telling everybody what the fuck you see when you don't want to tell them. Motherfuckers don't know how bad I hate the internet. Motherfuckers don't know how bad I hate the internet gossip. I hate this shit so motherfucking bad, but because my people is more important than the shit that I hate, I can use this motherfucker effectively. Based on military strategy and based on the laws of nature, nature says always follow the path of least resistance and you will find infinite growth. But just because it's the path of least resistance does not mean there is no resistance. Because the obstacle is the way still. So you still got to walk through the valley of the shadow of death around the traps and the snares and the pitfalls set for you. That's not going to change. But the way that we are trained to adapt is what has to change. When they asked Martin, what's the best thing we can do? He said, organize, baby, organize. Build, baby, build. See, we see the infiltration, right? And this is why a lot of the times we accuse the people that was doing the most work of being a provocateur. But I'm going to tell you this. A provocateur is going to act just like a war general. But he ain't. He don't got no strategy. He just trying to rabble rouse. They had a term. If you look up the history of the word or the term rabble rouser, it'll help you out understand what them motherfuckers is. They call them firebrands. That's what they call Vernon Johns, the one that had the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church before Martin King came in. He got kicked out by the SCLC. He's my cousin, by the way. My mama maiden name is Johns. And anyway, so Vernon Johns, they called him a firebrand because he did a lecture. And the name of the lecture was It's Safe to Kill Negroes in Montgomery. He had another one too. I don't remember the name of the other lecture. But when them two lectures came out, them more coward ass SCLC deacons was like, oh no, we got to do something about this nigga. Sound like Malcolm. We can't have no Christian Malcolm. We hard enough we got a Muslim Malcolm. We can't have two of them niggas on the same thing. Martin was studying Mohandas K. Gandhi. Mohandas K. Gandhi was a Indian nationalist. He didn't care 2 drops of a bucket of shit about an African. And he got his degree to practice law from South Africa. Ain't that something? He sat there and watched the same oppression the people in India was faced with in South Africa, going through the same thing on both places. He didn't care about the struggle of the ones in Africa. He cared about the struggle of the ones in India. And everybody say that he was racist because of it. But here's my thing. I can't fight Africa's war when I know I'm American. But I can lend them moral support from where I'm at while I'm fighting my war. Hey brother, I see you over there, Ibrahim Traore. I see you, Julius Malema. You know, I seen him. I seen what happened to Patrice Lumumba. I seen what happened to Kwame Ture. I seen what happened to all of them. But right now, I got to deal with this. When we get done fighting over here, if y'all need some help, we'll send y'all some shit. Y'all got to get them motherfucking infiltrators out, though. Y'all know they tried coup on Ibrahim Traore in the motherfucking military. Busted that motherfucker out a little over a month ago. Right? So, we had 7 failed governments in the last 12 months in the world. Major governments. You can Google them, it'll tell you what they is. Then we have a failed coup attempt in China. Failed coup attempts multiple over the last year in Burkina Faso. They doing, now I tell these niggas over here, since you so pro-African, join Ibrahim Traore, use whatever skill you got to help that motherfucker get them colonizers out and get the fuck out our way. So we can deal with the American shit that these black ass nappy head Americans that been here the whole fucking time. We can deal with our shit. All you motherfuckers that want to be in Africa, go over there. If we can't get free to Africa, get free, we gonna figure out a way to get Donald Trump to get you niggas some plane tickets to go help. We gonna start a Freedom to Africa bus line. We'll build a road to that motherfucker to help y'all get there, because we got to get this back. Y'all want to help Africa? Go to Africa where the fight at. Don't stand down the street with a bullhorn talking about you for the Africans. Go over there where the rubber meet the road at, where they need you the most. Go build some fucking wells, right? Feed some babies over there or something. Stop standing over here getting on our social media platforms telling us we Africans and we need to be worried about Africa. Get your ass to Africa and help the Africans. That's what you need to be doing. That's what you need to be doing. You tell me what I need to be. You don't want to be black. Motherfucker, I'm a red ass nigga. I'm a dark red nigga. Mississippi clay dirt walking. I can't be nothing else. I don't want to be nothing else. It ain't nothing in this world to me better than being Mississippi clay dirt walking. Only other thing I could have been that makes sense is Alabama or Georgia or Arkansas. But this motherfucking clay dirt walking, this some good shit. This some good shit. Them niggas out there trying to lure us out there, that's not our fight. Anybody trying to lure us out there, they automatically suspect to me. And I just got done watching somebody on the special about Tariq Nasheed. I believe in redemption. I believe in forgiveness. And I believe in giving the motherfucker an opportunity and a chance to show their true colors. I am 100% aware that the black church falling and the conscious community rising mean that all of the parasites from the church is going to shift over to the conscious community. Because it's the same parasitic energy trying to attack the same people the same. The motherfucking pimp. My cousin was a pimp when I was little. He retired now, but he used to tell me, he said, man, you a pimp in the street, but you're not really pimping till you get a church. Man, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? That's the craziest shit I ever heard. Then he get mad because he said, God damn it, that nigga Don Juan beat me to it. This motherfucker got a church before me. And I'm like, what the fuck is he? This is some weird shit. I didn't know that you only supposed to pimp for so long and then you're supposed to open the church because that's their program. Now, the pimp gang, they not going to church no more. Where do you get your pimp hustle off? Go to the goddamn conscious community. These diet woke motherfuckers and the ones that want to be woke, they'll feed our coffers. That's why I don't ask a motherfucker for nothing. If a motherfucker send me $1, I am the most grateful motherfucker you ever seen. But I ain't finna ask a motherfucker for shit. Cause I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this for my motherfucking people to get their shit back. And these motherfuckers in there trying to turn it into a hustle, a payday. Don't get me wrong, I believe in reciprocity. I believe if you feel like, because this is the law of the priest. A priest or a healer is never supposed to have what's called a surcharge. A surcharge is, for you to use my services, it costs you this much. No, that's not how this shit works. The real healers, the real priests, the Earthborn, the Delphi priestesses, the daughters of Isis, the daughters of Kali, all of the females, priests, never charged for nothing. They gave away everything for free. But the people that came understood one thing. If they can give it away for free and it's this valuable to me, I got to give something back or I ain't gonna feel right. It's the difference between matriarchy and patriarchy. Heaven on earth is under matriarchy. Hell on earth is under patriarchy. We've been fighting this war for 6,000 years. it just so happened to end in America. And the crown of America is Greenland, y'all. The pineal gland is that motherfucking, they call it a Stargate, but it's not actually a Stargate. But it's a piece of technology in Greenland. And this is actually the pineal gland of the earth. And it's the crown of the Americas, right? When you go to the story of Loki, he is the son of the Ice Princess. The Ice Princess is the daughter of the North. That's where you get the word Notre Dame. Notre Dame means Lady of the North, right? Now, everybody keeps saying the South will rise again. Yes. Now, when the matriarchy rises, the South has to be on the top of the planet because it's the top of the planet. Not because we want it to be, but because the sun hits the top of the planet first, which we call Australia, which they call the Queensland. The Queensland is the Ashanti stool, which is the seat of the matriarchal power structure, order of the earth. The turtle of Turtle Island is actually diving to the north to the land of the ice giants. Even though Antarctica is covered in ice, it's not the home of the ice giant. Antarctica used to be a desert. It was called Tartarus. This is why they keep calling everything Tartarian. It was called Tartarus. Tartarus was the outlands of Mu or Lemuria. It's like a good way to, if you look up the word Goshen, it'll tell you it's the extreme province of Egypt. Goshen, it was the whole Middle East and the Saharan Africa, which is North Africa. Okay, everything outside of the immediate confines of the city of Egypt, not Egypt, Cairo. You had 3 cities that was there. It was Cairo, it was Luxor, and the other one became Alexandria, right? It was the 3 major cities. Everything from the Nile out on both sides, they call it the extreme province. That was called Goshen in Hebrew. Now, Hebrew came about in the early AD period. It's not a pre-BC language. It's not a BC language. It's an AD language. And this is why I keep telling everybody that the Old Testament is newer than the New Testament, because it's written in modern Hebrew, not ancient Hebrew, what they call Paleo-Hebrew. Everything in the BC period is written in what's called Paleo-Hebrew. There's no, even the Dead Sea Scrolls are not from the BC period. They are, all of that shit is in the modern Hebrew, which is post-AD period. And so the Greek that the New Testament is written in, those trace back to a set of plays. 21-part play of Josephus Flavius. Remember, they didn't have no TV. They didn't have no radio. They went to concert halls. They went to plays. And then they went to sporting events, what they called the Olympiad, which was the different sporting games that they had. And the 21-part play was made up based on the Holy Drama story. And the person that they call in the Messiah is not what, he's the anointed one, but he ain't the one that's doing the majority of the talking. The words in the red is his mama. They didn't took all of these pieces out of the coming forth by day to make up your words in red in this context, because they want to reframe work so they can control it. So they took these words in red, and then they said, okay, they was coming out of the book of the coming forth by day and a couple other Egyptian books. And this is why they don't like the writings of Albert Churchward or Kersey Graves and what's the other guy name? I can't think of his name right now. But it's 3 people that was instrumental in exposing this plot. So they take these words in red and from the Egyptian writings and transfer it over to the Greek. Now, this is what they call the Acts, right? That's why you have a book in the Bible called Acts. Acts is actually the beginning of the New Testament, and 4 Gospels is supposed to be the testimony of 4 different people, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, who was supposed to be telling their version of how they perceived the resurrection of Heru as he became anointed by his mother, Isis, to become Osiris, right? So they took this and they reworked it. And this is why I say they used it to exploit our genetic memory, because we know the story. It's like part of who we are. It's in everything. The holy drama is in the Orisha stories. The holy drama is in the motherfucking Dogon stories. The holy drama is in the Hindu stories. The holy drama is in the Chinese stories. It's there. Every culture around the world, ancient culture, had their version of the holy drama. So no matter where the heir was born on the planet, if he was indoctrinated with the literature of the culture that he's in, he's gonna encounter the holy drama somewhere. Nobody in power in the history of the world has been given the right to take the holy drama from out of the sight of the public. You gotta always tell the holy drama some way. Most of the time they give it to you in modern times, in our times, they give it to us in the form of movies. The rescue stories, the damsel in distress, the one who comes to save the day at the last minute. The B movies, as Gil Scott says, always somebody to come to save America at the last moment in a B movie. It's the same thing. So they can't get rid of the holy drama, because they're gonna always tell it. You can't tell a love story without telling the holy drama. You can't tell a war story. Those are the hedges. The goal of life is to start off a warrior who enters as a goddamn fool, as a motherfucking cadet. But by the time he's done, he's going to be a full-fledged fucking general. He went from the fool's journey, now he's on the hero's journey, until he becomes the king, emperor, ruler at the end of the journey. It's the culture. Every rapper tells the story when they're telling it how they see it. They're still telling the holy drama. You can't tell a story in our minds as humans and not be telling the holy drama from another angle. Every story we tell is the holy drama. It's just another rendition of it, another way of putting it. Your love stories, your Western stories, your space-age sci-fi stories, fucking The Matrix, John Wick, Jason Bourne. It's all the fucking holy drama. All of it. Unilaterally is all the holy drama. Once you know the story, you see it every fucking where you look. It's always in our mind. So if you got the blood, you get activated. Once you activate it, you can't not see this shit. Because it's in the blood. It's the codes in the blood. It's the DNA program. The DNA is like a piano, and the holy drama is the song it plays. So we all have to fit in according to our individual development as a role player in the collective playing out the holy drama. Some of us play it out on a microcosm and become the leader of a family of 4, right? Then some of us play it on a bigger scale where we become the president, the king, the emperor, the demigod, whatever the fuck it is. Still the holy drama. And as long as you have your DNA sequence, it's going to always come out, because the Osirian resurrection is the rule that gave Earth time. The eternity of Osiris was promised to him in cycles. Reincarnation cycles. So the father becomes the son. Then the son finds the mother in another woman. And they get together and then they make a son. And that son becomes the father. And he finds a woman that's just like his mother. Boom. And you know why he keep finding one like his mama? Because his mama picking her the whole time. He think he picking her. He ain't picking shit. Women are telepathic in the hive mind. When the rightful heirs are up for matrimony, so to speak, the women go into checking women in the area. Is she suitable? Is she attractive enough? Is she intelligent enough? Can she control her motherfucking tongue? Because most of the women in this area got to tell a motherfucker something. You got to tell a motherfucker something. But the reality is, if you got a real solid dude, he gonna tell you, baby, you ain't gotta always tell a motherfucker something. Sometimes you can let a motherfucker guess. Let them figure some shit out on their own sometime. You don't need to tell a motherfucker shit. Stop having to think you got to tell a motherfucker something. You gotta give people a right to live their own life. As long as they don't get in your lane, let them have their lane. Go into your lane. Let's stay the fuck out of my lane with that bullshit. That shit right there don't belong in my lane. As long as you keep it in your lane, more power to you. I'ma stay in mine. But when you bring that shit over here, I'm not gonna say nothing. As a woman, I'm gonna look to my masculine and he gonna say, don't you say that to her no more. Stop putting shit in her lane, and the next time I got to tell you, it won't be with words. That's your final warning. But the men can't be men now because the women have been taught to take his place. So now you producing all of these bitch ass niggas. You know, and it's a sad thing to me because I love to see the little young brothers when they love the women and they see the women. And they looking at the women, and they in their age bracket, and they doing their thing, they coming of age. Shit, I remember when I went through it. So to see in its proper context a boy liking a girl and a girl liking a boy, and then there ain't no blurry lines in the middle of that shit, that's heaven on earth. That's heaven on earth. But don't let these motherfuckers drag y'all out in these streets talking about no protests. All that shit staged. And it just because we seen what looked like a lady get shot in the face, we probably didn't even see that shit. And just because it looked like they killed somebody named Charlie, he might not even be fucking dead. We was watching that shit live on TV. And he might not be dead. Remember, when we watched the prominent political figures who was continuing the Iran-Contra affair.
Okay.
They talking about Donald J. being king, but nobody protested when George Herbert Walker Bush, by Senate Select Committee, declared himself King George I of the United States of America, and they agreed and signed off on it, and that's in the legislative bills.
Oh, okay.
The first person to warn us about it was William Cooper, and behold the pale horse. Right?
Yes.
So, he declared himself king, and he was ruling through his catch paws. Bill and Hillary was his. Obama was his, and we already know G. Dummy was his.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he never left office when Clinton took office. We think he left office.
Right.
But he didn't leave office. Because that bill by Senate Select Committee allowed him to be the permanent president, not temporary. So they didn't protest when he did it, and they turned a blind eye to it because they was complicit. Because he was using them for the propaganda. It was him that had those three critical bombings happened. We only remember 9/11, but remember, in 5-year increments, right? The first World Trade Center bombing was in '89. George Bush was the president. Then the federal building was in '95, and Clinton was the president.
Okay.
Or the acting president. The G dummy was still the president.
The G dummy? What do you say?
So,
Okay. Okay.
but he was the president during all of this, according to that Senate bill. They kept it from the public. Right? You gotta remember what happened to William Cooper. They shot him. They went and had a shootout with him.
I remember.
Because he knew that they didn't. He knew they was acting and operating in fraud.
Okay.
And that there was a foreign occupying force, and he had took that oath to uphold the Constitution, and he believed in that shit. Look, the word emancipation don't mean what we think it means.
Oh, okay.
When they did the 13th Amendment, they didn't abolish slavery. It's right in there. Right? In the 14th Amendment.
Okay.
The 14th Amendment set the criteria. The 13th Amendment took private ownership of slaves from individuals and gave it to the corporate legal fiction.
I see.
Emancipation is to publicly transfer something from one domain to the next.
Wow.
Look up the etymology of the word.
Okay.
Because we think emancipation means liberation or manumission. Right? Remember,
Right.
when the ones on the so-called plantation do something good and they so-called overseer, master, get in their release, they call that meritorious manumission. Right? They let you go because you did something of merit that warrants your liberation from these conditions.
Okay.
Right? So they have whole legal cases dealing with people who had been manumissioned by their captors. But we gotta remember, we under the understanding of a chattel slave system, and that's not what it was. It was the rights to govern the spoils of war. When you are under siege, the people, especially the women and the children, is the spoils of war.
Right.
The wealth is the spoils of war. Why did they tell us all these Europeans came over here? For furs, for gold, for riches and wealth. But where they gonna get it from? We already here. Where they gonna get it from? If we don't give it to them, where they gonna get it from? They gotta get it from us, or make us give them access to the land in which we get it from. This is where the original get it from the dirt come from.
Oh, when they say I got to get it from the dirt, get it out of the mud. Oh, okay.
It's a old term associated with mining.
I see.
Right, so when you say you got to get it out the dirt, that means you got to get it off the fat of the land. You can't go to the bank. We didn't used to feed our people through grocery stores and food stamps. We used to feed our people from family farms. We forget that part of the culture because they got us believing that working the farm was a slave system. It wasn't. Most of it was family business. That's how we lost all of the properties with sharecropping agreements. Because some of them was being shysted in business maneuvers with a foreign people that has nothing to do with the business of the land. They just started writing out paperwork called allodial titles and assuming their jurisdiction over our territory.
I'm not going to even mince my words here. I've been very polite and kind, but I'm really getting tired of everybody and their mama, daddy, brothers and sisters being on our land. They come on the land, they get the businesses, they get the resources, and they don't treat us kindly. And it's really reaching to a point where I feel in certain communities in my own city, it feels like a whole nother country.
That's because it's all being occupied by foreigners. Look, you used to know when we was living in our own element. All of the businesses, when you go groceries, the grocery store owner looked like you.
For real. Yes.
You went to get a car, the car dealer looked like you.
Oh, yes.
Right? And we fought to not have that. We literally fought to tear our community apart. We didn't know that's what we was fighting for, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it's the result that shows why Martin would say, I think I'd have integrated my people into a burning building. Because what you don't know sometimes going into a situation don't mean you're not going to learn something while you're in the situation that helps you figure out how to get out of the situation.
I see.
So your ignorance becomes your enlightenment that becomes your liberation.
Mm.
See, the speech from 63 and the speech from 68 is not the same. In quality, intensity, focus, and direct statements. And what happened in the middle was the great meeting. A lot of people got a lot of bad to say about Elijah Muhammad. But if it wasn't for Elijah Muhammad, half of us would still be. Look, I was back in '83. My mama took me to Detroit to go visit Uncle Shelley.
Okay.
We were sitting in Uncle Shelley's living room watching either Nightline or a 2020 special about people that were still working on plantations against their will in South Carolina on sweet potato plantations. They was catching people that was drunks in the street in the city, inner cities. While they drunk, put them in the back of a van, and they wake up, they down there. But they can't. They say you can leave, but if they leave, they don't know the terrain. It's poisonous snakes down there. There's swamps down there with gators.
Mm.
You see, so you can leave. I can't protect you if you leave, but you can leave. It's all an illusion, right? The systems that they was working on are falling apart because of the people that did the work before we be able to see the system. They did the groundwork to tear down the systems that was hostile to us or belligerent to us.
Mm.
We have to expose it now. Because once we expose who we are and that we've never been confused about our position on the land, it's going to be some backlash. It's going to be other people that got lied to about who they is.
Oh.
That was being educated and trained that they was us and we was somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But never knowing that just like we got lied to, they got lied to. And just like we got pride, they got pride too. Right?
Yes.
So when these two packs, what the pride boiled down to is a pack.
Mm.
Right? Because you honoring what you believe to be your lineage, your family, your pride, your pack, your clan.
Yes.
So tribalism starts to make you come up against these people. I don't say nothing about the people except for the ones that we know damn well he's a German, a Briton, a Yugoslavian, and you over here talking about he Cherokee. That don't fly with me.
Okay.
But the ones that got lied to, that they was brought over, their parents was brought over as servants and mercenaries. They don't know this though.
Right.
So they don't know when the Moors got kicked out, who was they using in their military? Because they don't know the history of them in the Ottoman Empire fighting Vedics, people from Hindustan. They fighting people from Mongolia, the Khans. This is why you got a strong influx of Khan male Y chromosome in America.
Oh.
Okay, then in the Khazarians was the original home of the Huns that was overrun and used as a homeland for the retired Moorish offspring with concubines from foreign nations that didn't have birthrights. They don't have a right. They don't have a carry on birthright. Right. So these people, this is why you have distinct Asian features. You got Huns features in some of them, and you got Mongolian features in others of them. And then, not to mention that we was already married them on the West Coast. Most of us don't know about the China world.
Mm.
and we was doing trade with the Chinese in what's today called Mexico.
Okay.
Right, this is where you get your chinos from. But most of them is the royal Afro Mexicans is what they call them today. That was from the area. They took those as concubines from trade with China.
Oh.
So this is why you had those real dark ones with the straight hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they come from.
Okay.
Right, so they real dark Asian features with straight hair. But it's really not straight hair, it's really hollow hair.
Okay.
Right? Then you have the ones with the 7 and 8 ether, what we call the wavy locks. Right? And then all of them, from the straight hair to the kinky hair, all wore dreads at different times.
Mm.
So you would see the dreadlock being the signature. Wasn't called the dreadlock. The dreadlock was the ones who came about under the Mau Mau Rebellion in Kenya.
Okay.
The Mau Mau Rebellion was betrayed by Jomo Kenyatta. Once the British put him in power, he gave the field location to the Mau Mau Rebellion's headquarters to be air bombed by the British. Or was it the Italians? One of them. Some Europeans. Right, so but the Mau Mau Rebellion is what popularized the locks as dreaded locks. And also they had a similar uprising in Jamaica, which gave rise to what was called in Jamaica the Naughty Dread.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the Naughty Dread, because when you see them, they don't operate from the colonizers' position. They still at war with the colonizers.
Mm.
Right. Haiti finally won. That's not Haiti no more on the map. They went back to the original spelling when the people took power.
Oh, what's it called now?
Haiti.
Haiti. Okay.
Yeah, it's not spelled the same on the map. It don't start with an H no more.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. But that was because that was what the will of the people was.
Okay.
Now, I was telling people a couple of years ago, I said, when this has come to an end, Haiti want all of the children in Haiti to come back home to rebuild. I just seen a video about 10 minutes ago. I didn't get to watch it all. It was a clip on my Instagram of a Haitian gentleman saying, hey, we got to go back home now.
Wow.
He sounded me alarm. I don't know this dude from Rockin' Iraq, and he don't know me. But he's telling them something that I said 2.5 to 3 years ago.
Okay.
What's going to happen when it's all said and done, because Haiti is going to be on the world stage at the center of this.
Nah, I'd never heard that. Okay. Okay.
I've been telling the people, watch Haiti.
Watch Haiti. They're the ones that they won their liberation, right? They're one of the only ones that could conquer the Europeans.
They were the first ones to defeat the colonizers.
Okay.
The second was the continuation of that fight with the wars of Chief Pontiac, ironically enough.
Ironically.
They say that John Baptiste du Sable founded Chicago. That's not true.
Okay.
Chicago is ancient. It's been on the map before Chicago was the name of it, but it wasn't called Chicago.
Mm.
Right? So we all of these different renditions of